Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Tips. We are here talking, as always, about what school leaders are dealing with right now. And today I have my colleague Ashley joining me. Hi, Ashley. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Marin. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And Ashley works closely at managing our enrollment marketing team here at Grow Schools. And today we're getting into something that is affecting every school. And that's what enrollment data is actually showing right now as we head into the school year. And we've been kind of diving into this the last several weeks. The landscape is definitely shifting, and schools that understand that are, have a chance of coming out ahead. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation. As I said, the one sort of overarching truth is the enrollment landscape is not the same as it was, even a handful of years ago. And we've been talking about how this is the case. Can you give us a quick version of what the data is showing right now?
Yeah, I think overall the headline is that public K-12 enrollment decline is structural. It's not temporary. It's not a blip. It's not, from the pandemic now. The root cause is demographic. Birth rates are down something like 14% nationally over, since 2013 to 2022. And at the federal level, there's projections that there will be 2.7 million fewer public K-12 students by 2031 across the majority of states, 40 states plus DC. And 8 of those states are projected to lose more than 10% of their student population. That includes California, New York, Oregon. So it's a slow moving, but pretty significant shift that schools need to be planning around now and not reacting to later.
Yeah, that's a staggering stat. So I'm going to repeat it again, that federal projections show 2.7 million fewer public K through 12 students by 2031. And then you said 40 out of 50 states are seeing a decline. That said, charter schools in many states have actually been growing. So what does this mean for charter leaders right now?
Yeah, it's good news overall for charter leaders, right? Charter enrollment grew 62%, that 1.4 million students over that same period from 2013 to 2022, even as district enrollment dropped by 1.8 million students. But the reality is, and I see this every day working with schools, that aggregate growth doesn't mean every charter school is growing. The pool of students is shrinking and competition is intensifying. And the reality of per pupil funding makes this not just a headcount issue, but a budget issue. So losing 20 students means less money to operate. And that's a huge hit for a smaller school in particular. We know that families are researching schools online before ever contacting a school directly. There was data that you talked with our friends at Avella about recently. So there are positive signs. The window is open, but it won't stay open forever. Schools that, treat enrollment passively are leaving those families behind to look for someone else.
Yeah. Let me pause here and welcome anyone who might be joining us mid-conversation. I've got Ashley here from the Grow Schools team, and we're talking about what the enrollment data is showing us right now and what school leaders can do about it. My next question has to do more with this direct work that you do with schools, helping them with enrollment. So some schools might treat enrollment marketing as something that you do in a crisis or when numbers are down, or something that's seasonal, only during active enrollment periods. What's the argument for treating it as an ongoing or a year-round function based on what you're seeing?
Yeah, well, families make school decisions on their own timeline. So, if you're only showing up online in February, a family that's researching you in July might not find you. We're also seeing the timelines shift. Families, in your area, it might be that middle school families are making decisions about high school, in October, like before freshman year. We're seeing that more and more. So There's some variables, and if you're just going by what you kind of always done, you might be missing some opportunities. That Avella survey that I mentioned found, like I said, that families are researching schools online first, and so you don't really know when that research is happening. You need to be visible year round, or you're not going to be part of that conversation. The other thing is we see that reactive marketing, like, oh no, we have a decline. It creates a feast or famine cycle that can be really hard to recover from. So if you think of it like hiring and managing your staff, ideally you're not waiting until a role is vacant to start hiring. That same logic applies to enrollment. So the bottom line is schools with the most stable numbers are working at different intensities throughout the year, perhaps, but they're not going completely dark and starting from zero each season.
Yeah, those are great points. And we'll have to have a subsequent conversation about not only are families searching online first, but they're often asking AI first. And so we'll be kind of having future conversations about what schools can do about that. My last question for you is, what's one thing a school leader could look at in their own data this week that would tell them something meaningful about where they stand? Can you just kind of leave us with a tangible takeaway? Some of these stats can feel a little bit scary or doomsday, even though there are good things in there to be found as well. What would you leave us with?
I would say look at your conversion rate for inquiry to application. How many families that expressed interest over this last enrollment season, over this last year, never applied, never followed through? That gap is a really big opportunity. And if you're not tracking it, you're missing a big piece of the story. A lot of schools think a lot about the top of the funnel, just we need people to find our school. But they're not looking at the middle of the funnel, which is that engagement piece, following up with those families who have shown interest but haven't fully converted. So it's, some questions to ask. How fast are you responding to inquiries? How easy is your application process? Can it be completed on a mobile device? Are you communicating clearly and staying engaged with those waitlisted families? Because there will inevitably be families that don't show up on the first day or who make a decision to go to a different school midsummer. You want that waitlist to hold. You want those families to remember that they applied, and you want them to move over to your school given the opportunity. And the fix is usually not just spending more on ads. It's doing more with that interest that's already being generated. You've already spent money to get that interest. So what can you do to convert it more effectively? So if you don't know your conversion rate, I think finding it should really be your first step.
Yeah. So the big takeaway, I guess, connecting it kind of to where we started the conversation, is the data is telling a clear story. The pool of students is shrinking, but that means competition is increasing, and the schools coming out ahead are treating enrollment as an ongoing priority. And I'm hearing good news in your last bit of recommendation, which doesn't mean, throwing a bunch of money at ads. It means pay closer attention to what's already happening and make sure that you're responding. So really great tips. Ashley, thank you so much. This was a great conversation. You can catch us here on Tuesdays for more on enrollment strategy and school growth. And of course, head over to growschools.com and check out our full library of resources. So thanks, Ashley, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.